Okay guys, welcome to another tutorial. Slightly different this one, and this may be the way we go in the future, because quite difficult to film these in and around busy working studio where we have a nice quiet time. So we're not doing, this is the working studio, and you're going to hear background noise, you're going to hear conversations that are totally inappropriate, so try not to listen to those because nobody likes an eavesdropper. But aside from that, we're going to do some building, and today I'm going to build this. Right, so we're going to build a Thai chest box. It comprises the top section, bottom section, and 4 rings or donuts or whatever that go on the edges there, and make it look like something more than it is. Okay, let's get into it. I'll try and talk you through all the tools as I'm using them. I'm going to start with our old friends, the shears. There's probably not much that I do in here that doesn't involve shears. So there is a line marked around here that's in the forming, which is a rough guide for where I'm cutting. Hopefully you can see that. I think from memory, when I used to measure these before we inscribed the line, I think it's about 80 millimeters from there to there. I mean, I can check that. I have a tool for that. Somebody's took my ruler. So I won't be using a ruler to measure it, but anyway, it is what it is. Cut around that bottom line. I'm going to trim that up now just so it's a little bit neater. And yeah, there we go. Okay, second tool of the day, and another one of our favourites. I use this probably most moments of the day. It's our friendly Dremel. Right, I'm just going to take all the fluff and the rough edge off that with a bit of sandpaper just to give it a nice edge. Loads of ways you can achieve this. I'm going to use this sandpaper today. Okay. These details, the donuts, are for the top of the box. These are for the bottom of the box. I have here my template. No, come in.
Let's bring them.
Do it over here, Pete, then you're on the camera then. Bit more this way. So there you go.
You've got to CGI your face into mine.
That's alright. I'll do the other one.
Usually something like that. Put that out about there, both sides. Test it a couple times till you're happy.
Yeah, drop it in.
And then same with the bottom. You'll have to take a bit more of that off around there to get it to fit in.
Yeah.
And then I'll just hold it tight in place and put a blob of glue on the inside while it dries.
Yeah, nice. Super good.
Yeah.
Nice. So you might have seen there that Pete just gave me a bit of a refresher, because Pete's the one who usually builds these, and that's the compressor. And away we go. It's like you're getting a full flavour of the circus today. Right, so we have a template which is included with the kit. Bam. And you can use this to draw around to create the perfect hole. So as I use these, hi Paul, coming in. I'm doing a bit. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Your heart.
Keeping you warm, bud.
So I put my cup of tea on the back because this is a dusty area. Right, okay. So I'm going to draw around the template. There is one of these in each kit. When you've used it, you can put it in your recycling, or you can do what I do, which is throw it in a bin. So I'm putting it just a little bit above that line there, just a touch. Okay, not a huge amount, but just enough. Eyeballing it. Have a look at your reference photos. Quite happy with it there. Oh, I'm not happy with that one. I've done it a little bit off centre, I don't like that. I'll do it again. It's amateurish mistakes like that cost all the time. why nothing gets out of it. Only joking. Right, okay, so I'm gonna make those into physical holes. Look at that, can you see the drawing, the pencil line? Look at that. That's my pencil line. I'm gonna cut that out now. So to do that, we'll introduce our next tool to the process. Right, so I'm going to use this just to give me nice big hole. Now bear in mind this is rather thin. Okay, was on the original movie. It is now in my hands, getting on for 50 years later. Hope you can hear me. Somebody is currently building a tie helmet in the other room. I don't know if you can see this. Doesn't matter if you can't. Probably better if you can't, because it ain't pretty. Okay, so they're very roughly cut out. Yeah, it's not. It is not pretty. But that's okay, because we're going to prettify it now by using our friend again. What have we got here now? Look at the tools that we've got building up. We'll take that one out of the equation because we didn't use that. Is that in focus? Yeah. Can you see it? Yeah. Is that better? Yeah. Get rid of some of this debris. Brush that all over Clarky's camera equipment. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out with the shears, something like this, because this is eventually going to be quite low to the bottom here. We want that shape. And this one is going to go in here. Something like. So we'll cut those out. Let's take them straight out the middle. These are round, so there's no top and bottom. You can make your own decision on that. This is all going to go inside the box, so you can be as sloppy as you like, basically. I don't know if you can hear that, ladies and gentlemen, but that is the sound of prop building magic. So I've got what? A bit less than an inch on the bottom, pretty close at the top. Don't worry about me being quite scruffy and throwing everything on the floor. I'll get some peasant to come in and sweep up after me. So I'm cutting that round on the base, but I'm probably going to have to sand a little bit off because it does get very close there. But you can leave a little lip, advisable. Okay, so we've trimmed those out like so. And this is going to go in here. I'm going to attempt to put it in there, but I know it already needs sanding. But let's see how far off we are. Okay, take a little bit out of the sides. Okay, as you can see, it's a little tight. That's what we wanted. I'm going to put, depending on your vac forming pull, may or not have a little split here. I'm just going to put that in there, just hold it together while I'm sanding. And I'm just going to sand around the edge, just to make it a bit bigger. We're getting close. Actually, a little bit more we can take off. The template is notably a little smaller so that we can get this nice edge. And this is the best way of doing it, rather than cutting that bigger and then your hole's a bit too big by the time you've sanded it. we've almost achieved the perfect fit. If it still doesn't fit, keep going. Eventually, with enough abrasive action, this is what you're going to get. Yeah, it's going to just slide through that hole perfectly. Now this isn't quite perfect, it's through the hole, but it's still a little bit tight, so I'm just going to tweak it, fine tune it for the perfect fit. I feel like there's a tiny little bit of resistance still, so I'm just going to go a little bit more. I'd rather take the extra minute or so now and have a better finish forever than rush it and bodge it in there, because it could have worked, but this is going to work better. So I don't know if you can see that. It just slides in there with very little resistance. Right. Wham. Bam. Blam. So that is the fitment of the top ring there. And then we're just going to glue that in. It's just coming through. We're just going to glue that in. I'll show you attaching that in a moment. But let's get on with the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing. Now we've got all of this wavy edge going on here. Are we going to sort that out? Nah, I'm not. I'm just going to use it as it is, because that's going to be a bit of a lip to glue the top of the box to. You can neaten it up or not. I'm going to choose not, because I'm building props here and the inside matters not to thee. Right, so you can see there, that's where my template's going to go. So we're going to do the same again. And I'm going to mark this. Then I'm going to use the drill with the hole step on it to open up a nice big hole. Bearing in mind this is thin, so be careful when you're drilling these. Then I am going to sand it with the Dremel. Then I'm going to sand it with the sandpaper. That can go in the bin now, we're done with that. Then I'm going to sand it with the sandpaper, And then this is going to fit just like the same as this one fits. Okay, well, let's cut just to that bit that I just said. Don't even need to film this. Okay, let's recap. Let's recap where we are, because we're almost there. Right, so we've made our holes. Yeah. Take the edge off there. And our piece will now fit in there. So I'm trying it on the outside because I might have to take some of this edge off.
Hold it dead centre.
I might have to take a little bit of this edge off, so it won't fit in the hole. So I'm trying it on the outside. It's just the way I roll. Right, let's get this stuck on the inside. Now you might have noticed that I didn't do as much of this on the other holes, and I just went at it with the Dremel. That's because I know what I'm doing too. If the worst happens and I make a mistake, I can put that in the bin and I can go and get another one from over there. But you probably can't, so as Phil Collins once said, do as I say, don't do as I do. But it all equals the same end goal. Okay, so that's going in. The hole was nice. Let's just see if we can show how square it is in there. It's kind of working. You can see it, it's black, very dirty, but there you go. That's what we're aiming for, and then we're going to glue it in. There's a little bit more sanding to be done to make it fit better. This is the difference between a box and a good box. My opinion, it don't count for much. But you're here, you're listening, the best you got right now. That's nice. Am I happy with that? I believe I am. Okay, let's run through why I'm happy with it. Because it's nice and square. Can't really see it, but it's coming through nice and square, which means it's an equal distance all the way around from the base to the top of this piece. This is going to carry our cog eventually, but that's it. That's what we're looking for. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, let's do the other piece. And it's just a rinse and repeat of what's just happened. This is the one that Pete cut out. I would go straight for the cutting out of a bit more. So I'm kind of cutting into where it bends. You have me doing some weird things. Bit of latency there. Oh, That's what I'm looking for. Right there. No? Yes? That's what I'm looking for. Right, I'm going to use a bit of glue to attach those together. But before I do, I'm going to cut these down some because I don't want this to start clashing with this when they go together. I'm going to cut it down. Don't need all this. I've just got nice and tight in there. Might even go a bit tighter yet, you know. Oh no, that's good. See in there how much this trimmed out. So there's not a great deal of those left. That's it. That's how I like it. That's just going to pop in there. Oh, like a magician's trick, isn't it? Right, and now I'm going to make all of those three pieces into one. So, let's get a second. Just lubricate the machine. Okay, so dot of glue there. Which one are you getting me on? Yeah, dot of glue there in our space. Dot of glue there. So I'm just holding that all together while the glue goes a little bit. That's gone nicely, and I've got a nice kind of square edge to that. Okay, repeat that on this side and we're golden. I'm going to open this up because I think could fit better. Yeah, that's better. Little dab of glue. Less is more with this stuff. So I'm trying to hold it at the top and at the bottom so it's all nice and square. That's how I want it. Interesting thing, tie chest box. I mean, I'm assuming there was a drawing done of it to come up with this design, because the way it's kind of built is definitely interesting. Some of the details, interesting. Right. You can't see what I'm doing really, but what I'm actually doing is, I'll show you in a second. So I've got a bit of glue down in the bottom of the this section on the inside, okay, and I've got this lip, the lip of the actual box, on the edge, right on the edge of the table, and I'm pushing down on this, on the piece that we're trying to glue to it. I'm applying pressure to that to get it down, to keep it as square as possible, because that's how I want it. Okay, I'm going to call that done. That's the bottom of the box there. I'm going to call that done. Boom. So now, top, let's get the top done. Remove these bits. Need that. Probably be a bit more careful when you're doing yours. Now, although before I did say, if I make a mistake, I can go and get another one. Now I don't want to make a mistake because I'm time into this now. So it's not just a piece of plastic now. It's all the time that's gone into this. So now is the time to be much more careful with it. Okay. So we know those fit. In fact, if you put them on there from the outside, you can see it's very close to the sides of the box. Oh, that's looking better, isn't it? That's looking very good. See if she fits. Oh, she fits a treat. Now, as I'm putting it in there, I can see that it's splaying that gap open. See that? The gap's closed. There, the gap's closed. Push that in, splaying it open.
Bring it to the centre of the frame.
What the fuck? Can't see it. So there's no gap here. When we get that in, there's a little gap. That tells me this needs to be a tiny bit bigger. So I would go at it with my old sandpaper. Much better. Right, again, I'm going to chop the bottom off there. I'm just going to try and test fit that. Now, still need a bit more coming off, I think, to get complete satisfaction. Don't do this bit. Use a paper. Let's get on with it. Let's not mention what just happened. Right, it's alright. I'm imagining it. Okay, let's trim a little bit more out of here. That's got slight taper. Yes, like that. By Jove, I think he's got it. Right, that's the 2 halves of our box. And built. And now we need to attach them together, like thus. We still need to cut out these holes. So the question is, do I do it after or do I do it now? Let's put it the right way around. Now they're not quite meeting where they need to, and that is because of this lip on the inside that we created using this piece. So I'm just going to remove a little of this area. This is quite important, this, okay? Pay attention to this bit if you haven't been doing. And I don't blame you if you weren't, but this bit is going to be something that you need. So I'm just going to cut down here. In fact, if you put them together, this is the front and this is the front. So if you put them together, you can see how far. So here I'm about 4 millimeters away. And if you can see it there, I'm about 4 millimeters away. So I want to remove 4 millimeters of this. Okay, I want a lip to glue it together, so I'm going to leave this. So I'm literally just going to kind of scallop it out there. Go right across. And then on the back, if we look at the same area on the back, again, it's about 4 mil. So that's nice and easy. So I'm just going to take a chunk of this out. I'm going to use my old friend the Dremel. Noisy old friend the Dremel. Now I'm going to take a little bit more out because I'm colliding there. So I'm going to take a little bit of this out. As you can see, we've got a bit of an angle going on. So I'm just going to take a chunk of this out, but I'm going to have a little slight arc to it. there is our edge that we took off, and there's our little, put a little you know, arc on there. When we put them together now, instead of being like this at this end, where there's a gap, look at that, we're nice and flush there. See that? So that this meets this kind of recess bit. That's where the two pieces join. This helps disguise the join in the box, so that your eye doesn't see it when it's on screen. So we need to do the same. We need to do this to this end. You don't need to watch me doing this. You've seen it before. Front. Now, right at the beginning of your build, you can put a bit of tape on the front of each box, just to remind you, just in case. Because the last thing you want to do is get to this stage and be the jerk that sticks it kind of one to the back, one to the front. Okay, so this is the front. Mark it, and you're golden. And that's it. We want a straight edge, as straight as possible. The original ones are not great, but you want a straight edge there, and it wants to meet this lip here. So anything above this line, anything above this line here is inside the box. We'll get it on the overhead. So this is all the bottom, and then this scalloped edge here rising up to this line is all the outside the box. Above this line, this way, this is all the inside of the box, obviously, and you don't see any of that. So as long as you've got something to overlap it there, and we have, then you're good. Get rid of some of that. Right, so there we go. That is the first part of building your box. Okay, in the next stage, we are going to join the box together. The next stage, we're going to join this box together, and then we're going to put our holes in. We may do that before we join it, not decided yet. Either or, doesn't make, hey, maybe do one when it's joined and one before we join it. Then we will dress it with all its components, and we'll show you how we attach it to the chest. And that is the chest box. It's hold it like that. There's your thumbnail. How's that? Screenshot. So there is the chest box. It looks, I don't even know if it looks complicated. It doesn't look straightforward on how it goes together, I guess. It is very straightforward. This is what they were doing nearly 50 years ago, what is it, 48 years ago, this was being done in this way. 48? Yeah, 48 years ago. So it's not modern technology, let's call it that. That's it. So, come back next time if you're intrigued to see. What's that? That's it. Come back next time if you're intrigued to see how this box goes together and how all the little components and greeblies are attached to finish the Thai Pilot chest box. This is the second tutorial in the black stuff, and it is Black Friday. So, check out the website if you're interested in some of this black stuff. And let me just say, there might be some not always available black stuff on there right now. So, you have been warned. Check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Come back next time if you want to see how we finish the box. Drop any comments below if you've got any better ideas how it's built. And as always, stay in touch and I will see you next time.